Tifa, were you waiting outside then? Yes. We returned to Nibelheim. Sephiroth confined himself to the inn. He didn't even try to talk to me. Then all of a sudden he just disappeared, right? We found him inside the biggest building in Nibelheim. The villagers used to call it the Shinra Mansion. Long ago, people from Shinra used to live in that mansion. Here we are in the Shinra Mansion. Now, there are a lot of ways to go, but nothing really in here worth your time. So, really, your only duty to this at this point would be to find Sephiroth, which he will be upstairs. At least on the way to there would be upstairs. And also to the right. There's no sign of Sephiroth, but I know I saw him go into this room. Go into the secret entrance. Down the spiral staircase. And through the caves. And through the caves again. And you'll find your man. An apparently dead organism was found in a 2,000-year-old geological stratum. Professor Gast named that organism Genova. X year, X month, X day. Genova confirmed to be an ancient. X year, X month, X day. Genova project approved. The use of Mako Reactor 1 approved for use. My mother's name is Genova. Genova Project. Is this just a coincidence? Professor Gast, why didn't you tell me anything? Why did you die? Let me be alone. Sephiroth didn't come out of the Shinra Mansion. He continued to read as if he were possessed by something, and not once did the light in the basement go out. Sephiroth seems different. Who is it? Traitor. Traitor? You ignorant traitor. I'll tell you. This planet originally belonged to the Cetra. Cetra was an whatever that word is, race. They would migrate in, settle the planet, then move on. At the end of their hard, long journey, it is said that you would find the promised land and supreme happiness. But those who disliked journeying appeared. They stopped their migrations, built shelters, and elected to lead an easier life. They took that which the Cetra and the planet had made without giving back one whit in return. Those are your ancestors. Sephiroth. Long ago, disaster struck the planet. Your ancestors escaped. They survived because they hid. The planet was saved by sacrificing the Cetra. After that, your ancestors continued to multiply. Now, all that's left of the Cetra is in these reports. What does that have to do with you? Don't you see? An ancient named Genova was found in a 2,000-year-old geological stratum. The Genova Project. The Genova Project wanted to produce people with the powers of the ancients, or the Cetra. I am what was produced. Produced? Yes. Professor Gast, leader of the Genova Project and genius scientist, produced me. How did he... Sephiroth? Out of my way. I'm going to see my mother. Hey, it's you! You're still sane, right? Then come over here and help me! I'll check this house. You check that one over there! Terrible. Sephiroth, this is too terrible. Papa? Sephiroth? Did Sephiroth do this to you? Sephiroth, soldier, Mako reactors? Shinra? I hate them all! Mother, I'm here to see you. Please open this door. How could you do that to Papa and all the townspeople? You promised. You promised that you'd come when I was in trouble. Mother, let's take the planet back together. I've thought of a great idea. Let's go to the Promised Land. Sephiroth! My family! My hometown! How could you do this to them?! They've come again, Mother. With her superior power, knowledge, and magic, Mother was destined to become the ruler of this planet. But those worthless creatures, are stealing the planet from Mother. But now I'm here with you, so don't worry. What about my sadness? My family, my friends, the sadness of having my hometown taken away from me! It's the same as your sadness! My sadness? What do I have to be sad about? I'm the chosen one. I have been chosen to be the leader of this planet. I have orders to take the planet back from you stupid people for the Cetra. What should I be sad about? Sephiroth, I trusted you. No, you're not the Sephiroth I used to know! And that's the end of my story. Wait a damn minute! That's it? No more? I don't remember. What happened to Sephiroth? In terms of skill, I couldn't have killed him. Official records state Sephiroth is dead. I read it in the newspaper. Shinra Inc. owns the newspaper. Shinra Inc. owns the newspapers, so you can't rely on that. I want to know the truth. I want to know what happened. I challenged Sephiroth and lived. Why didn't he kill me? I'm alive too. A lot of this doesn't make sense. What about Genova? It was in the Shinra building, right? Shinra shipped it from Nibelheim to Midgar. Did someone carry it out later? It was missing from the Shinra building. Sephiroth? Damn! None of this makes sense! I'm going, gone! And I'm leaving the thinking of you! Yo, Cloud! Let's get a move on! Cloud, what's wrong? You just gonna stand there while Sephiroth heads to the Promised Land? I ain't letting Sephiroth or Shinra get to no Promised Land. If they do, then we're all screwed. You know what I'm saying? Oh, brother. Fine, that's good enough. Oh, brother. Just said that again. Cloud? How bad was I after Sephiroth stabbed me? I thought you were a goner. I was so sad. The ancients, Cetra, Genova, Sephiroth, and myself. Let's go. Barrett's waiting. What a fascinating story. Cloud, take this. The PHS. So now we can actively change up our party members whenever we like. Or rather, that's what I would say if this wasn't a limited item. You can only use the PHS on the world map or at a save point. PHS will put us in constant contact with each other. Well, I'll be going. You can only carry up to a party of 3 in Final Fantasy VII. So, it's always important to make sure that your party stays fresh and clean and nice, and constantly changing. Now, herein lies the problem with Final Fantasy VII that I honestly have. It's the fact that we can switch out any one of these party members, except Cloud. No matter what we do, we always have to be Cloud, and that's really rather disappointing to me. Like, I've been spoiled by a lot of JRPGs that have multiple party members at this point. Like, you don't have to be Shulk in Xenoblade Chronicles. You don't have to be Rex in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. You don't necessarily have to technically play as Ryza and Atelier Ryza. It's just like, I've been spoiled by so many newer games that do this sort of thing so much better, where you don't necessarily have to be the main character. And in fact, in a previous Final Fantasy, aka 6, there basically was no main character, so you're basically free to customize your party to whatever you like. Terra didn't have to be in your party. Celeste didn't have to be in your party. You could literally customize your party into whatever you wanted, and that was awesome. It's just a damn shame that Final Fantasy VII had to take that away, you know? Like, FF6 is probably the better game to me, because your party truly was customizable. I mean, it's not just the materia that made it customizable, no. It's the fact that you could be anybody that you wanted. It didn't have to be Terra or Locke or Celeste or whatever. It's just the fact that, you know, Final Fantasy VII isn't truly customizable to me because you're stuck playing as Cloud throughout the whole thing. You know, reserved for some sections, like that one section right before the end of the Midgar stuff, where we controlled Aerith for a little bit. But aside from that, you're just basically stuck as Cloud. And in the grand scheme of things, I guess I'm a little bit disappointed with that. But, you know, it's still a great game anyway, so it doesn't really bother me in the grand scheme of things too much. But I'm just saying, I really wish that would be a thing where you could play as someone other than, you know, the MC. I mean, heck, some of my favorite games I played throughout like the past like couple of years, you were basically stuck playing as the main character. Like Persona is probably a good example. Persona 4 and Persona 5 might be really amazing games, but you're basically stuck playing as the main character. And, you know, that's sort of the point. But except in the Persona games, aka 3, 4, and 5, that's the whole point, because you had those social links and everything. Basically, you had to connect with a whole bunch of people to get stronger. It's just here in Final Fantasy VII, you can't do that. And hell, even Chrono Trigger did that. Like, even Chrono Trigger didn't always allow you to be Chrono. Like, near the end, you could basically be whoever you wanted, and that's cool. But I guess for Final Fantasy VII, they just didn't do that for some reason. See, now I'm going in circles. But regardless of which, we're all done here. I think I'm going to do a little bit of grinding off screen before we move on, because these next few areas can be, you know, just a little bit tough. So anyway, on to next time with Final Fantasy VII. We're going to explore Calm, make our preparations after we have grinded off screen, and then we're going to move on with our lives. See you guys on the next time. Thank you for watching, and goodbye, Morty. The chase for Sephiroth has begun.